In this lecture, we're going to be talking about chart patterns. So tops, bottoms, and triangles. So what are chart patterns? Chart patterns are patterns that you're going to see on a chart that are going to give you an indication of future price direction. So there's a bunch of different chart patterns out there, okay? Some of them make sense, some of them don't make sense. And if you read something like the book Technical Analysis Using Multiple Time Frames by Brian Shannon, you'll see that there's a bunch of them. Or any other, books or popular technical analysis or chart pattern recognition books, you're gonna find a bunch of them. And, what is the reason that they work? Well, you might think that, it's just voodoo, because some people don't believe in chart patterns at all. And some people just trade based on chart patterns. I think it's somewhere in between, okay? I think some chart patterns make sense. So there's a reason for them, and you'll see that the chart patterns we're gonna look at, they make sense. There's a reason why they would wanna work. And then there's other chart patterns that don't make sense. So example, head and shoulders, which is basically a chart pattern that you have prices going up, then down. It looks like a head and shoulders. It looks like something like this. You have, let me get back here. You have a chart and prices are going up and then down and then up and down, and then you have a head, you have a head here and you have a shoulder. Left shoulder, right shoulder, and this is a chart pattern. I don't look at this chart pattern because for me, this chart pattern doesn't work. Why? Because it makes no real sense. There's no real strong logic behind it, and it's very hard for other people to see. Some people say, well, look, if everybody believes that this chart pattern is going to work, then since everybody's looking at it, then it is going to work, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And yes and no. You want something that, has a reason why it would work. There's an actual supply and demand reason why it would work. And simultaneously, the fact that everybody looks at it and the self-fulfilling prophecy thing has an impact also on it and makes it even stronger. So you want to look at these chart patterns, not the ones that don't really make sense and you can't really see. Like if you're looking at a chart, being able to notice a head and shoulders, it's so hard. Nobody actually sees it. So then even that doesn't even factor in the fact that everybody sees it. It's not even true because people aren't going to see that pattern anyways. So for this reason, these are the chart patterns that I like to look at. And these are really the only ones I use, okay? So we're going to be looking at the bottoms, tops, and the triangles. So you have bottoms. For this one, for example, this is a double bottom. So you have prices, they hit a point, then they come back and they hit that same point again. So we have a bottom here. Usually you're going to see it at a round price 2 times. And this tells us that if prices go down here, there's a high likelihood that a lot of people are buying at this price because they see that this is a strong price. There's a lot of demand. And the people who were buying here, they might still be buying here again and cause the same support. The orders on the order book might still be there, right? And price might bounce off of it. So if you're a buyer, you might want to buy here. You can have multiple bottoms, which are, again, the same thing as double bottom, but it hit that price more than 3 times. In this situation, you wouldn't want to buy somewhere here. You would wait and you would place an order here to buy, right? Expecting it to go back up. So this is double bottoms, multiple bottoms. It makes sense on a supply and demand kind of way of thinking, right? Because again, we're always thinking of supply and demand. It makes sense. And then the fact that everybody sees this pattern and it's very easily recognizable is the self-fulfilling prophecy that's going to help it even more. So this is what I mean when I'm talking about these are the patterns you want to look at. I've seen people say, oh, look at this pattern. It looks like an elephant. So that means, there's more likelihood that this happens. No, come on. Be logical. Multiple tops, prices going up, hitting a specific point multiple times. So you can have double tops. In this situation, you wouldn't want to buy here. You would buy only if it really breaks up. Or if you want to short this, you might want to short here then, okay? When something breaks, some people buy as soon as it breaks. Some people wait until it goes to a higher level and comes back and bounces off of it, and then they buy. This is like a bigger confirmation. So it's really based on your preference. So the thing with that is you might miss it. It might break up and just keep going up and you miss it. But sometimes there are false breakouts and then it comes back down. So, if you wait for the reversal and then it going back up, then you at least miss the fake breakouts that might occur. Okay? That's bottoms and tops. Then we have triangles. So you have ascending triangle where you have sellers that are selling at a specific price. So for example, here, sellers are selling at this consistent price, but buyers are buying at more and more aggressive prices. You see here, buyers are buying at this price, prices going up, going down, but now buyers all of a sudden, they're not letting it go down more. They really want to buy, so they're buying more. Sellers are, when it goes up, sellers are selling again. It goes down, buyers are buying at more aggressive prices. So you see, it looks like a triangle, but it's ascending. The triangle is going up. And then what's going to happen is at one point, either buyers or sellers are going to win. Now, you don't know who's going to win. It could be that sellers win and price breaks down. But when you're looking at ascending triangle, there's more likelihood that it actually breaks up because it's the buyers who are being more and more aggressive and buying at higher and higher prices. Okay. Now, in either case, when you're looking at these chart patterns, you don't buy right away. You wait until the break occurs and then you enter a position. So you wait until the break. Okay. You have descending. Let me see if I have descending triangles here or not. Ascending. No, I actually don't have it up. So this is an ascending triangle. You have descending triangles. Descending triangles is the same thing, but it's the support that's constant and the resistance that's going up, down, sorry. So you have prices going up, down, up, down, up, down. So buyers buying at the same prices, but sellers selling more and more aggressively. And then price is going to break out in either direction, but more likely that it breaks down. Okay. So that's ascending triangle, descending triangle. Then you have, symmetrical triangles where, both are being aggressive. And then it's going to break in one direction. Again, you wait until the break occurs and then you go in that direction. The more that, prices can sometimes just break over here, but the more that prices are wedged, the more that the break might be bigger. Okay. And this is why we call these, sometimes we call them wedges, right? So here, when it's not very symmetrical, we just say it's a wedge. Okay. We have a triangle, a wedge, and buyers and sellers are in a battle here. And at one point, somebody wins. In this case, sellers are selling at less and less prices, so they are also aggressive. Buyers are buying at more and more aggressive prices, but buyers are being a little bit more aggressive. You can see the slope of this line here is more, it's more sloped than this line. So in this case, they won. And you see here, prices actually came down and was supported by this previous resistance, and then might go up. So these are wedges, okay? And again, here, another wedge, same thing. So wedges really make sense in terms of logic, in terms of supply and demand. And this is why you're going to see that these types of patterns are the ones that work the most. The other reason is that they're very easily recognizable. So everybody sees them. And, they really do mean something. When you're looking at supply and demand and looking at the order book, you're going to see on the order book big amounts of orders being placed on these levels. And that's why this is caused, because like we've said, prices drawn on a chart are just, historical transactions that occurred. And these transactions occurred on the order book. Okay. So, this is why these chart patterns make sense. Go ahead, go online, look at different indicators and think about it. Why would this indicator work except for the fact that everybody knows about it? Because I want just the best indicators. I don't want all of them, and chart patterns. I don't want all of them. I want just the best. Because as you are going to learn in trading, you don't want to use everything in terms of technical analysis. You just want to use a few things, but use the things that make sense for that purpose. Because you have so many tools. If you start using all of them, you're actually going to lose predictive value. In mathematics, if you're using a function to find a specific value, let's say you have y equals ax plus b, well, you might have, more variables. So ax plus bz plus c something plus a lot of unknowns. The more unknowns you have, the less predictive value you're actually going to have. So in mathematics, usually I think it's between 5 and 6 variables is the most that you would want to have. When you start using other things, right, then you might actually lose predictive value. It's the same thing here. Don't try and use everything. Use the ones that make more sense for your type of trading strategy. And we're going to look at this when we look at, the trading strategies that I'm going to show here. We're going to use few things for a specific trading strategy. So this is going to do it for chart patterns, and I'll see you guys in the next lecture.